Hello everyone, so today I'll be talking about something that I've been deciding for the past few weeks, well actually 1 week, and that is that I will be changing my opening with white and sort of with black, basically completely. So, as you know before, I used to like to play the King's Gambit, or I would play an Italian, which I didn't really go for on videos, but I like both of these openings. And now I still like these openings. It's just that once I play e4, I sometimes don't get the response with e5, and I sort of have to study every single line. Like for example, the Carcassonne, the French, the Sicilian. There's also like Alekhines and other weird openings that I have to study. So I've decided that I will be changing to the ready opening, which is one knight to f3, and I will still be playing e4 and going for the King's Gambit. It's just that I will not be playing it as often. And with knight f3, I like to go for like some kind of King's Indian attack or Catalan style opening. Now, I'm not going to be starting with d4 first because I don't really want to like run into Slavs or like other stuff, although knight f3 openings usually transpose to d4 openings. But basically what I will do is, with white, I'll play something like knight f3 first. Let's say they go d4 is the main move. I'll just go with g3, castle, d3, and at some point c4, e4, develop the knight to like d2, and maybe go for a double fianchetto. And that is what I like to do now. So, I've played many games with this opening on my alt account, and it works really well with, like, high-rated players too. And I've also checked on the Lichess database. This move knight f3 has an amazing win rate. I think also on chess.com it also has an amazing win rate. It's like one of the highest actually. It's even higher than e4. And the reason that that's the case, I think it's that this opening isn't really studied like a lot by people. So this is pretty much the setup that I'll be going for. As you can see, d4, sometimes I might even get like reverse Grunfeld with like e5 maybe, and obviously c4 now in this position, but I'll just let you know that from now on the move knight f3 is going to be more common in my opening repertoire and later in my games. And I'll show you a bit of it. I've been working on the repertoire on Lichess, but this, of course, it doesn't mean that I won't be playing the King's Gambit anymore. It's just that this sort of switched to my main opening. And against like the copycat variation, I'll play something like this. And this is just a great position. Like if they decide to play d5, once again I'll go for this like Catalan style sacrifice on e4, and the position will look something like this. In some positions this bishop will go out to f4 and in others to b2 to pressure down here. But it's not only white, which I'm sort of switching my openings, it's also black. Now against e4, you might know previously that I go for the Sicilian, but I've recently decided that I want to go back to the French defense. And this is what I used to play before I moved on to the Sicilian. And I've watched a lot of like 2000 level rapid games on chess.com, and many people actually use the French to my surprise. I think more than the Sicilian actually. So this sort of inspired me to switch back to the French. It by by all means it's a really good opening. So is the Sicilian, but I sort of understand this opening better just because of the number of times I've played it in the past. I think probably way more than the Sicilian. So that's what I'll be doing against e4. And against d4, I've also prepared another line, and that, like you might have predicted, is the King's Indian defense. And before this, I used to play d5, going for like a very symmetrical and solid position. And I like to play the Slav defense if they go c4. But since I've already studied the King's Indian attack, why don't I just play the King's Indian defense too? So I thought this would be a pretty solid setup. Many grandmasters still play it, so do like high level players, so it's not too bad. This is a Grunfeld defense. This is also a pretty good opening, but sort of like the King's Indian better, since it doesn't require a massive understanding of theory, only like the basic ideas and maneuvers or plans of the position to sort of master the opening. So it doesn't require like memorizing 10 moves of theory like the King's Gambit or Sicilian or even the French. It's just rather easy to play in my opinion. So that'll be my opening switch from now on. I haven't played Rapid in a while on this account because I've been studying openings, middle games, tactics, in games, and all that. So hopefully we'll get back to Rapid in like maybe a month or so, and then you'll see some games where I play Knight f3 and Knight f6. Now the only problem is that I can't really go for a King's Indian setup against e4, although the Pirc or the Modern might be good for that. I'll look into this line, like all these lines, later after this video, but that is pretty much it for today. I hope you liked and enjoyed, and I'll see you all in my next video. Goodbye.